All right, play at your own risk. Play at your own risk, own risk, own risk. Ow. Play at your own risk. Y'all know I'm about to do a victory lap. I'm just gonna talk about the lawsuit, right? That's all I'm gonna talk about, but it's gonna be a week full of victory laps. I'm pulling up as many as old receipts that I said that I can find. This is the Epstein list for the boxing community. Floyd Mayweather suing Viacom. Let me say something. The reason that Floyd Mayweather can't sue Al Haymon, the reason that they can't sue Al Haymon is because of the contract that he signed. And shout out to T Street for posting the contract that he signed. Now, at the end of the day, a lot of people just want to, cope with it in the way they want to cope with it. But let me keep it a bean with you. The reason these dudes couldn't say Al Haymon's name, disparage it, and remember, Regis Progress was talking shit about him. He had to apologize. Or you probably trigger some type of lawsuit clause or clause you got to pay money, you got to apologize. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I be trying to tell y'all, bruh. The way he set those contracts up, they can't sue. He acts as the power of attorney. And at the end of the day, everything I said was true about the dude. They got the Nation of Islam allegedly was hired by, some people. Allegedly, it was the people he finessed the money that was funding PBC, Wild and Reed, which is now defunct, looking for him. They got people looking for Al Haymon. Let me slow it down a little bit. There was a alleged story behind the scenes that Gervonta Davis went to Al Haymon's mother church looking for Al Haymon because he took his mother to church Sunday morning. And the excuse that they was using why Al disappeared. So when Oscar talking about, he spoke to Al Haymon and all that type of stuff, in reality, maybe they was meeting up for OnlyFans link up, if you catch my drift, because both of them didn't just backdoor you, in my opinion, allegedly, right? That's what's been said. But ain't no Al Haymon. Luis the Cubist and allegedly Luis the Cubist and one of Sam Watson's sons is running. I forget which son. I want to say it's the one that's cool with Danny Garcia, has been running PBC. So basically, when a lot of these dudes was looking for Al Haymon, right, before I read this article, the excuse was his mother was sick, and that's why they couldn't find Al Haymon. That was his excuse. You got to remember, Al got ran out the music industry. So they gave him a little leniency, because, okay, his mom's sick, his mother's sick. So, at the end of the day, maybe, we get, but at the end of the day, allegedly he ran off. He ran off, man. He ran off with their monies. And I've been saying this the whole time. I'm the only one. Me and Fred is the only one who been saying this. And I say this, a lot of what Fred say is legit, man. Fred got receipts. The only reason Fred don't drop those receipts because he can get sued. I mean, no, Fred got receipts, bro. I'll just leave it at that. I know a couple people who got receipts. Check out the Patreon. I said some shit on the Patreon, man, that I ain't gonna say on the internet. I just dropped the video. Video already be up by the time y'all see this. All right. So, but I've been telling y'all that, man. He been finessing them niggas out of money. That's why Derrick James ain't get paid, was because of him. It was in an article, but Floyd Mayweather sued Showtime, missing hundreds of millions of dollars. Floyd Mayweather says he's made over $1 billion in earning over his legendary career, but the 15-0 fighter claims all the money didn't make it to his bank account. Hold on, how did you earn something and you ain't get it? How did something accumulate for $300 million and you don't get it? Let me say this too. Y'all remember, and I'm gonna show these receipts on the stream. Y'all remember Logan Paul was suing Al Haymon for no money, for not getting paid after he fought Mayweather. Mayweather said, I'm still cashing checks from years ago. This nigga's an idiot, bro. He can't read. But the 50-0 claimed money to make it to count. And now he's suing Showtime, claiming they played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him out of $100 million. So when people say, well, Al Haymon isn't included in the lawsuit, played a big role in his ex-manager screwing him, so he can't sue Al legally. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all don't understand about the business, man. This is why Al Haymon got exiled from the music industry, allegedly. He said In a lawsuit filed by Floyd in California, obtained by TMZ Sports, Mayweather says he's going to recover hundreds of millions of dollars and misappropriated funds and damages resulting from long-running and elaborate schemes of financial fraud, allegedly perpetrated by the longtime advisor Al Haymon. Now he's claiming Haymon got substantial participation and aid from Showtime former show president Steven Espinoza. Let me say this again. Let me toot my own horn again. No cap. I'm telling y'all, man. I spoke on this too. What you talking about, Willis? Talking about you. I was telling y'all that Espinoza, the weasel, for Shiesel, he was basically, this is what's alleged that's been happening. Let me fill in the gap for y'all a little bit. So this is what's been happening, bro. So apparently you had Wilder and Reed who gave Al Haymon a bunch of money to fund PBC, right? Let me slow it down a little bit more. PBC wasn't even his idea, but I'll address that in another stream, right? So Al Haymon basically had Wilder and Reed money, right? I heard it was $1 billion. I would say that was before Eddie got his $1 billion. Now, allegedly, this is what they all do. He took some money off the top and allegedly put in his pocket. Everybody do that, right? I can't remember the exact number. Once my boy from Cali hear me, he'd come and once he watched this video, he gonna text me the exact number, right? So I can't remember what the exact number was, but it wasn't no chump change. So I don't want to know. I don't want to say it was half the billion he took, maybe a quarter, So he pocketed that. Everybody do that, right? That is what it is. He pocketed that in his pocket. So basically what they was doing was they was paying the fighters out of this fund. They was getting paid twice. So the networks is paying them money and they had Wilder and Reed money. So they was paying the fighters, it's probably paying the fighters from Wilder and Reed and pocketing the network money. Most likely that's what they was doing. So they was funding this stuff twice. They was funding it twice. So the fighters probably got paid, however, and then they was pocketing other money. Espinoza was helping circumvent that. He was helping kind of make that flow go. He was the bumper. He was the one that was putting it in play. So Al Haymon just couldn't do that from a POA situation. From a POA, he needed somebody else who had Showtime ear and had the fighters there. He was the bumper. He was the middleman. But he was a very important middleman in making this work. Without Espinoza, it doesn't work. And don't think he didn't get paid for what he did. And to keep it a bean, dog, it's a lot of they fucked over a lot of small time promoters. You know what I'm saying? Like they fucked over a lot. Like a lot of when they go fighting like DC or New York and they need like local promoters and they talent, they fucked them all over. Like all the guys you see around Al, the TGBs, what's the other brother? That brother Simpson. Bro, all them niggas around Al, he wasn't even feeding them. They wasn't eating. The only nigga was eating was Al. Them niggas rather be rich than famous. They broke. He was starving them niggas out. He was giving them breadcrumbs. Sylvia, Tim Smith, allegedly, he wasn't paying them like he was supposed. He basically took all the money and gave these niggas crumbs. Showtime and Espinoza are listed as defendants. Why not Al Haymon? Why Haymon is not being sued? Floyd claimed Haymon, with whom he worked with over a decade, misappropriated a significant portion of his career earnings to the tune of $340 million. And he says he did so with the help of Showtime and Steven Espinoza. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for. In the suit, Mayweather references several biggest fights, including Pacquiao, McGregor, legend. Showtime and Espinoza effectively delivered money owed to Floyd directly. Espinoza effectively delivered money owed to Floyd directly into Haymon's hands by sending accounts essentially controlled by Haymon. And at the end of the day, he gave Haymon power of attorney. He gave Haymon power of attorney. Do y'all know what that is? Anybody who had a mother or a father that got sick and you had to go over there and get, you had to go over there and get power of attorney so you can control their accounts, their insurance. You control everything. Giving somebody power of attorney is something you do when somebody maybe a child come up over money, or somebody is sick, or they out their mind, they can't make their right decision, or they have a car accident and they're not mentally there. It's the really help. This dude gave this able-bodied dude gave another man power. All them giving power return. That's why they can't sue him. Earl ain't got his money yet neither. He can't sue somebody, bro. When you sign over power of attorney, you can't sue him. Years later, after undefeated boxer assistant managers, his team asked to see Showtime's books, which Floyd claims the network told him were lost in a flood or weren't accessible. I mean, what you need to see the books for? Mayweather suing Showtime is known for aiding and abetting the breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud, conversion, and unjust enrichment. In addition to the 340, Mayweather is also seeking punitive damages. He broke. Reaching for comment, Mayweather's attorney Bobby Samani predicted victory, saying Floyd is one of the biggest pay-per-view draws. He generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for Showtime. Mr. Mayweather now takes the fight to the courtroom to recover what's rightfully earned. Retiring undefeated 15-0, Mr. Mayweather will go the distance in the courtroom just as he in the ring. My thing is this. You gave a man power of attorney. They ain't their problem. He been doing this for every fighter. You know he ain't got a pay-per-view check since he beat De La Hoya. They say allegedly he ain't got a pay-per-view check. And this is what, and I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna bring that. I'm gonna review my own video. I'm gonna talk about it again. I'm gonna talk about it again. When Floyd Mayweather tried to tell him Al Haymon was fucking him out of money, I'm gonna talk about it again. I'm gonna review my own video. I told y'all, bruh. I've been saying it for years. Years. They don't owe you shit. You sign your life over to the devil, brother. Watch the Patreon video. It's going to say a lot of other stuff in there too. Get the Patreon, watch the video, man. You signed yourself over to the devil, bruh. You signed your life away. You signed your life away, homeboy. And now you want to cop, please. Like you changed around, baby, please, don't please. Like, nah, bruh. You signed your life away. And I'll be like, well, what was he getting? He was getting guarantee money up front. So whatever the guarantee was, that's what he was getting after the fight. He was getting the guarantee. He didn't get no paper, no back ends. Been saying this, dog. Me and Fred was the only nigga saying this, dog. Me and Fred, and I don't really, see eye to eye with him, but I gotta give him credit. Me and Fred was the only people saying this. Me and Fred I've been on this curve. I've been telling y'all about De La Hoya, allegedly setting up fights for years. Since 09, 08, they've been saying that about De La Hoya. 010. This ain't no game, bro. I've been telling y'all this shit, man. This why Tank was fleeing the police. Tank broke too. He said, nigga, I didn't know that Floyd haven't got no pay-per-view money starting from Oscar on 2007. He said, Blank said Oscar, Hatton, Mosley, Cotto, Honello, Pacquiao all did millions of pay-per-view sales and more, and Floyd got none, bro. He said he's cashing his fight purse, not pay-per-view money. Blank said the PBC fighters don't get paid after the fight, so they don't even get that. He said Blank told me Wilder and Spence on the phone what Haymon was doing. Wilder said he knew already this was in 2022. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bonus. He said a regular fight check that Al Haymon didn't pay them. So hold on, let's go back. He said Blank, hold on, I want to read that. He said these PBC fighters are stupid. I talked to Blank about pay-per-view, and he said only 4 fighters that's old pay-per-view money. Mayweather, Wilder, and this is before this story broke. Mayweather, Wilder, Spence, and Tank. Everyone else never got to 150,000 pay-per-view sales. So you got to get the 150 or 200,000 to turn a profit to get pay-per-view back in money for people who don't know. That regular fight check that Haymon didn't pay them. He said Crawford, Canelo, Fury, Pacquiao, Ryan, I think, yeah, Ryan Garcia all got pay-per-view money for getting beat up on by PBC, beating up on PBC or by PBC fighters. None of the PBC got their pay-per-view money after getting beat the fuck up. He said Mayweather, Canelo are the only two fighters that get pay-per-view money after 100,000 pay-per-view sales. Everyone else is 150,000 sales. He said Blank said he pulled up on Pacquiao versus Thurman pay-per-view and they did 700,000 sales. Add Thurman to that list. Laugh out loud. He said Broner and Thurman didn't get pay-per-view money for Pacquiao. Wilder, I know you are, bro. Didn't get his pay-per-view money for 3 Fury fights. They allegedly they all did over 300,000. Spence didn't get his pay-per-view money again for Crawford. Mayweather didn't get none of his pay-per-view money since Oscar in 2007. He said, and Blank said for a fact that Floyd didn't get the money for Oscar. He said Blank said for a fact that Floyd didn't get pay-per-view money for Oscar in 2007. Damn. I'm gonna leave it at that. Hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon. Check my other video out. We gonna bet, man. I got some streams coming, man. We about to put plays to catch some plays. Look at the flick of the wrist. Oh, look at the flick of. I'm the nigga outside of Fred on this. We are the expertise on this, man. So we about to cook this nigga. I hope you don't get a dime. You know, this is the same dude who said, "Hey, black people didn't help me get right. Mexicans did." I'm gonna find that clip too. Yeah, had them Mexicans fucking cash up your ass. You know that $340 million. You know, yep. What Jay-Z said after we go, you rap bit. Peace.